All right, so this is the Drupal Cross Initiatives meeting for December 13th, 2018. And it's maybe the last one of these for the year, given that next week there's a conflict with the core committee meeting, and then the week after is the middle of various holidays. And then the week after is already next year. So let's dive into what we have here. And I think we usually go through alphabetic order. So last time media and admin UI was present. I don't think anybody's here from media, but they had a huge sprint in Barcelona, made big progress, and they were presenting the results at the UX meeting. So we can add the UX meeting notes, I guess, and the UX meeting recording for them. Big sprint in Barcelona. Link. I don't think we have admin UI, but they got a lot of good feedback on the UI refresh issue. And Dries is working on a post about the admin UI refresh as well, to be published hopefully later this year. And they moved the project to Drupal.org. It's Drupal.org/project/Claro now. So the work is going to continue there. It's moved from GitHub. All right. So those are the two that I know about. And then I can also report on what happened with Drupal 9 in the meantime. Also, Dries posted a post titled "The Plan for Drupal 9," I believe yesterday, that I was involved a bit with. And we also published an FAQ under Drupal.org/documentation/9. That's covering a lot of questions in terms of why do we need to release Drupal 9? Why is it in 2020? What happens to Drupal 7? What happens to Drupal 8? What's the lifetime of Drupal 9? When is Drupal 10 going to be released? I tried to source a few tips from Mixologic in terms of how to test for backwards compatibility stuff. And yeah, so that seems to have gotten some good feedback. Unfortunately, the post on Dries' blog does not allow to post comments, but he just agreed that we can enable comments on Drupal.org. So I'm just doing that right now. And maybe add a note to the post about that. Yeah, so that's for Drupal 9. I think the definition of the date as being June 3rd, 2020 is quite important. We count back from there. And then that's aligned with the 8.9 release date. So that puts limits in terms of what's possible for initiatives to put into Drupal 8. This will definitely focus on stabilizing Drupal 9 in that time frame. So we'll probably not be able to put in a whole lot of big things into 8.9. And also all the things that would enable people to update to Drupal 9 right away would ideally be get to earlier Drupal releases. So the more we can front load in 8.7 and 8.8 would be the better. Yeah, so I think that's the most important part from the post. We're also aiming for including as much as possible in Drupal 8. So if we can make Drupal 8 work with Symfony 4, sorry, and then ultimately with Symfony 5 optionally, it would be nice, so that we get more in the field testing of Symfony 4 and 5. And then by the time Drupal 9 comes, we only need to flip the switch to require Symfony 5. And we don't know if that's possible yet, but we're trying our best to do that. So that should put a lot of Drupal 9 work in Drupal 8 and get some proof that it works. So that's a short summary of that. And I don't have updates from any other initiatives, so I guess we can move on to maybe order of arrival, but I don't know if Fabian or Elliot arrived earlier. They haven't seen. Who were first? I think Elliot was first.
I think I was.
Yeah, do it.
So we're struggling for time with for priority with our day jobs at the moment, with closing everything off for the end of the year. So we're trucking on with the focus styles patch, which is a big change that's been kicking around for a while. You have to be careful with this that we don't bring other things forward, because we're in danger of causing regressions. We've already found one where something had been fixed with the font styling leaking into the admin toolbar and it being regressed by this patch, so we've had to fix that. So we're kind of blocking any styling changes until we've got this in, because it's a very large patch. It's very important for accessibility, and we want to get it in without regressing anything else. On multilingual, we've unblocked the Spanish community. They're a bit confused on the way forward they wanted them to take, so they're handling that in Rocket Chat, and they're currently reviewing the language guidelines that have evolved so far. And I'm suggested to them that they do it in Spanish, because I don't want to be a blocker. I want them to work as their own team in that. And I think the plan is for probably over Christmas, when I'm on a break from work, to actually break down the remaining technical tasks based on the multilingual demo, to work out how we can actually split this into issues that we can commit one by one to actually get where we want to on multilingual support. Did I say that too quickly? Did that make sense?
You need help in that area, or everything's going well?
Not right now. We just need to kind of free up some of our own time.
All right. Let me know if you need any help.
Yeah, will do. Thank you, Gabor.
Sure.
Elliot, I've been obviously following the focus styles patch quite closely. One thing that brings to mind is that like change in Umami is like hard because we don't have any modern tools for like checking for visual regressions.
Yes, we have talked about backstop, but we haven't actually. And I think we actually might have stood up an instance of that at one point. I don't know if that's still there.
It's I guess, I mean, there's probably been conversations before for like core themes and how we handle regressions there as well. But maybe we can use Umami as a Trojan horse for proper visual regression testing in core, which would be kind of cool.
That sounds like a brilliant idea to me.
but a big issue to try and solve.
Yeah. If people will help us solve that, that sounds brilliant. If you want us to go and do that now, that sounds less brilliant.
Yeah, sure. I'll just keep on reviewing the patch and nitpicking it to to find the regressions.
It currently is in needs review, so
yeah.
Thanks, Alex. That's about all I was going to throw in today.
All right. I guess for you, it would be nice to know the stability path of everything else, but I think you were looking at media and layouts none of them are here to say how far they are. Maybe MG will be able to chime in on that.
Yeah, the only other one that we're looking at would be migrate CSV and core, which there hasn't been any movement on that for a long time.
Lucas, do you have feedback on that?
Hi, this is Lucas. I think that we're just distracted, and would like to help, but we have other migrate things too. So
yeah,
if you guys want to move forward with that, and unblock yourselves, that's maybe a wise thing if you've got the capacity, which maybe you don't. Don't let us stop you.
Okay, it's probably not going to hit us as a priority because it won't enable us to do much more than actually just remove some of the custom import process that we have in Umami. So it's probably low on our priority list and low on your priority list. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that was my observation as well. So most likely not going to happen. All right. I think Fabian was next.
Hi. I think I can just echo what Elliot said about the work priorities getting in the way. That is true also for CMI, CMI2. Nevertheless, we had a meeting yesterday where we progressed a bit with the patch review of like the big config storage transformer patch. We also have a couple of issues split off from it with like relatively uncontroversial API additions that we want to make to Drupal 8. We've agreed that we want to make it more specific and make it much more purpose-oriented for the specific thing that we need for configuration import and configuration export, and that we can then enlarge it later when more use cases arrive. Specifically also, we don't want to create new APIs that invite people to do the wrong thing. So rather than having a utility class, we will have a trait instead. So that it's not like, hey, you can copy stuff, you can copy config now, but more like you use this in your class when you know what you're doing. Because we don't want people to copy configuration to the active storage, and it was kind of too inviting to do that. Even though we document not to do that and use the config importer, but well. Yeah, apart from that, we still don't have a lot of people working on the documentation. So that's, I guess, eternal, like a lack of people working on that. So, yeah, I don't know if Alex wants to add something more to that.
Not really. I haven't focused much on CMI2 in the past couple of weeks. I've been mostly concentrating on media and other low-level stuff. So just, yeah, echoing like Fabian's thing, there hasn't been much progress, although we did start to do some stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I guess then that's it from CMI2.
All right. Then Lucas joined next.
Hi, this is Lucas. We in Migrate Land are plugging along. Work obligations have kept us a little bit more focused on paid work, specifically in the multilingual arena. We did, though, add another subsystem maintainer in the last couple of weeks, which is good in a way, but his focus has not been on multilingual. We've also been prepping for Drupal 9 with the idea that the Drupal 6 migrations that are currently embedded in core will move out to contrib. And the fact that we've got a lot of BC shims in place already, we're trying to get as much cleanup done, prep for 9 to release is sort of something that hit us all sort of mid-release cycle here. So some of our priorities were just put on there as far as what we're going to get done in 8.7. We just put them on there, not putting a lot of consideration that this also is a time when we can be planning for 9. So the existing priorities for multilingual migrations are still there. Distracted, but they're still there. But we've sort of shifted on some of the lower priority things to focus more on cleanup for 9, which is okay, considering that the initiative as a whole is stabilizing quite nicely. So there's my update. I don't have any blockers. Our core committers have done a really great job getting to the RTBC queue. Thank you.
Yeah. Any way I can help with the multilingual migration stuff that you need reviews or help? So that
there's a couple of reviews. There's one thing that we've been doing is tagging anything multilingual as migrate critical. I think there's just a lot of needs work. There's one user profile that Mike was going to try to review, but his brain started to hurt. And it wasn't even that hard of a patch. I don't even try, so kudos to Mike for trying to review it, but it's out there in the needs review. It'll probably get hit in the next couple of days or weeks. There's just, work. And the folks who have traditionally picked those up, Maxime and Masi Pila have been noticeably absent from the issue queue because of work and life.
That makes total sense. And is also fine. All right. Yeah, I will try to find the one if I can help with, and then
it's in needs review in the queue, user profiles.
Perfect. Alex, do you have any initiative other than CMI to report on, or more to add for CMI?
No.
Do you want to talk about the media sprint?
Do I want to? I think others are better placed. I mean, I spent most of the week in support of the sprint, like reviewing and committing like mad. I think that the UX work that was done looks really good. I think that there was some. We worked really hard on all the assumptions that the team already had and that needed to be challenged in order to go, okay, how do we make the UI as clean as possible? And I think everyone was really happy with where we ended up. And I think the tweets that have come out from, I think Sean B in particular, like post it showing some of the agreed user experience, they look really good. And yeah, I'm hopeful that it's going to deliver, but I'm not in the weeds of like delivering the new stuff now. I supported the team then, and I'll continue to support them, but I'm not actively working on anything.
All right, I'll try to look up the tweet from Sean that had a video and everything.
Yeah, I can find it. I'll add it to the doc.
Yeah. I think he in fact posted multiple good tweets. So here's one. the doc. This doc.
I am recalling that I did just add a policy no patch issue to more clearly define backwards compatibility for plugins. I will put that in here into our doc.
Yeah, that would be a nice one for Catch and Alex. We've had a few back and forths in terms of how to support that.
Oh yeah, on that, there's also another issue that I opened earlier this week about actually declaring our plugin classes as final, because if they're implicitly internal, they shouldn't be extended from, and they're not a base class, then why aren't they final? Which would solve some of the BC things, because you don't have to care if you change a final class.
This one actually, Alex, is about the fact that the plugins for Migrate are YAML, and all of our docs specifically call out classes. They actually specifically assume and use all of their examples and language around classes. So this is more just a clarification to say, we've got other things too that are plugins.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Fun.
Yeah, I think where it came from is where I think a Drupal 6 patch wanted to change the ID of some plugin, and then I pushed back on it because if other plugins depend on this plugin as dependencies for the migration, then this is gonna break. And then the question of whether this YAML name change is a break or it's a plugin, so it's not a break.
Yeah.
Even though it could be dependency for other things.
We also have a plugin that needs to go away because all of its functionality has been moved into another plugin. And actually going away and moving things over probably is not a BC break. But let's just make it very explicit is kind of what we want to do with that document.
Cool. Where do I see the document?
It's in our document here.
Okay, I see it here.
No patch on YAML discovery plugins.
Okay, cool. Cool. I will follow the issue.
Yeah, that's issue 3020329.
Yes.
Funnily enough, I'm kind of sympathetic to the argument that plugin IDs actually are API. But anyway,
I am too. I agree that they are, and we're not trying to do that here. We're just the issue with YAML discovery and the fact that we've got folks copying them out, which some folks agree, some folks don't agree, is a good policy. But let's assume that we know that people are. It leads to some interesting BC discussions, even if we aren't required to. We still try to as much as possible. So,
okay.
Cool. You know what I'm saying there with the copying out? With
they're copying out the YAML files and putting them in their own modules and doing stuff.
Yep. That's what I mean by that.
All right, and then the last one to join was NG. Do you want to talk about any of the initiatives or have questions or talking topics?
Yeah, I think my updates were covered by everyone else. The only things I can add is that for the media initiative, I'm working with Sean and Adam on a new must-have, could-have, etc. list based on the new designs. So we're meeting about that tomorrow. to go over that. If anyone else wants to come to that call, you're more than welcome to. It's at 7 a.m. Pacific because I like pain. And I don't know what that is in normal European time, but mainly this is being driven through Acquia because we're paying Sean to work on media in Q1, and I gotta be able to I have to be able to articulate what we're working on and why that's in the critical path to my pointy-haired bosses. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I want to make sure that we've got a good articulation there because there's some, as Alex was saying, some really great stuff coming out of that design process. I want to make sure it intersects with good stuff for 8.7 as well. Other than that, I have mostly been dying the entire month of December. I had pneumonia. That was super great. But I'm feeling a lot better now. And so this is my first full day of work back. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, I don't have a lot of other updates, unfortunately, but thanks everyone for, fighting the good fight. And thanks to all the media sprinters last week. That was awesome to see the stuff that was being produced there. So yeah, so sorry, nothing too exciting on my front, but whatever we come up with though, that will just update the issue summary of the current media library stable blockers issue. So it'll be public. It's just we're figuring out in Google Docs first, as you do. So, and Lily says hi. So, bye, everybody.
Hi. All right. Anything else that we want to discuss or questions or things we can unblock? There's 3 core committers on the call.
I would like to express my thanks for keeping up on the RTPC queue.
I think it's the first time in about 6 months that we've had it reasonable for a considerable period of time. It's been good now for, I don't know, maybe the last month or so.
A million thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks for the patches.
Yeah, certainly not my achievement as I was not able to attend to that, but I will pass that on as well to other core committers not here. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, then let's go back to work. And happy holidays, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
You too. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.